just wanted to show you these flowers, these beautiful flowers. These are cosmos. I bought the seeds last autumn and I wanted some tall cosmos. These were, I think they said about 1 to 2 feet, and I got such a surprise that they are really, really tall. But what's even nicer is look at them, they are attracting the bees, and it took a while for them to take flower. They started flowering around mid to late August, but this is now October and I have got an absolutely beautiful array of flowers. I need to deadhead them. Every day I deadhead them, and I've even got some sweet peas, and I can't remember the name of these sweet peas, but by golly, they have the most beautiful scent. Absolutely wonderful. But look at that, isn't that gorgeous? Attracts the bees. We're getting a lot of bees and some butterflies coming and getting pollen. And at this time they're still collecting pollen. Look at this, bumblebees. Great big bumblebee there. And there's another one there. Absolutely wonderful. I did plant some geraniums in those pots, but I had to take them out because these were overpowering them. But I'm really pleased with those. At first I thought I'm not going to do them anymore. But they have brought on such a magnificent display. I might do them again next year. Hello everybody, it's Micheline from Micheline again. Look at the top I'm wearing. It's a one that, it's from a pattern. I'll put the pattern up here. I can't remember what it is, but I do know that it was, I didn't have enough fabric. Same old. It's got a bodice here, and the bodice goes across to the sleeve, and the sleeve should be longer. I do talk about it in a minute. Now this one really is a hack. It is some fabric that I had, but I didn't have enough of it. And the intention was that it was going to have a high neck, which it has, and a little opening down here, like a shirt opening here. There's a seam along there. It's got a little yoke top, and it was going to have long sleeves. But I didn't have enough fabric, did I? And when I cut it out, I thought, oh, I'm not going to get enough fabric. I foolishly laid the pattern on the fabric and started cutting, because, you know, I can mishmash patches together. And because it's a busy pattern, I could do that. But then I found that this front, I couldn't get enough fabric. I couldn't get enough fabric to make a tab there. So I made it all in one. And then I found that I didn't, the actual sleeve stops there. I didn't have enough fabric to make a long sleeve, and it stopped there. So I had to use lots of little pieces, and there's a piece there. I put a little piece in there, and then I put another piece in here, and you can see it's got a seam at the top because I made it out of 2 pieces there. This band is made out of 1 piece. So I've got a sleeve to there. I didn't like the length of it. It looked weird. So then I added a little piece in and a little piece here out of what offcuts I had to try and make the sleeve longer. Still would prefer a longer sleeve, and I think if I wore that, I'd probably wear it with a long sleeve black t-shirt underneath. But it still looked quite nice. The only thing is, I keep thinking, the way the pattern is, I keep thinking that's where the yoke is, and the yoke isn't. It's up here. It's the way the pattern repeat is. You kind of think, is that a break in the pattern, or is it? It looks like it's a pocket, sort of. but no, it isn't. And so then I did the top, and it was supposed to have an opening there, and then I thought, no, I'm just going to do this with these. I've got loads of plastic poppers, trying to use everything up that I've got. I'm getting fed up of having shelves full of everything. So I've got this little raised collar, and I've just done little buttons like that to put it on. And it doesn't look too bad. Not one of my favourites, but still I'll get some wear out of it in the autumn. But it's some fabric that I had, quite like it. It's colourful. It's actually kiddie type fabric, and I prefer it with long sleeves. So I'm wearing a black jumper and a long sleeve t-shirt underneath. Anyway, I'm busy making a cup of tea for myself, so I'll talk to you while I'm making it. Lordship has gone off this morning to he's gone off to rehearse, and it was funny because he goes every 2 weeks. He goes to rehearse. He's just joined a new band, and he says they're all old men, and they're all he says the music that they play is very dated, and he says, oh God, he says they're playing 60s, 70s music, and he said it's got no oomph for me. So last week he went off, not last week, 2 weeks ago he went off to rehearse, and he has to go halfway down down to York. He has to go about a 45-minute drive, 30 to 45-minute drive, and he set off at 8:20. He's got to be there for 9, and he said I'll be a little bit late, but not a problem. So he set off at 8:20, and at 5 to 10 he rang me. Now it reminds me of a true story about an old man who lived in Cambridge, which is, if you think of this as being England, he lived down here. He went off at breakfast time to the corner shop to get some butter, and he didn't come back, and he disappeared. They didn't know where he was. Anyway, I think it was several hours later, he was found up here in Newcastle. He got completely disorientated and had gone and ended up on the motorway and was driving up north and didn't know where he was. Well, his lordship rang me at 5 to 10, and he said, I don't know where I am. And I said, and I burst out laughing. I said, oh God, this reminds me of that man. I said, you're getting dementia. I said, this reminds me of that man who went all the way up to Newcastle, and we were having a good laugh. He said, well, he says, I know I've got to go to Scotland, but he says, I don't know where I've got to go next. So I said, right, which way are you pointing? And I went, to be fair, he didn't have the sat-nav, because he's in the middle of nowhere. That his sat-nav didn't work. His car doesn't have it, and he has to connect it to his phone. So his phone, he says, but I can't get on my phone. He says, the signal's no good. So, but I said, oh, you've managed to ring me. So I told him what to do. I said, if you've come to a fork, take the left one and drive down there for about 3 or 4 miles, then take the next left and drive down there for a couple of miles, and then it'll be on your left. So the next thing I knew, he'd gone a completely different way. He says, the road was closed and it sent me in a different way. So I think it was round about 11:15. I think 11 o'clock he arrived back here, and I said, what's the matter? He says, oh, I just gave up. He says, I could not find this place. It's a little village in the middle of the countryside, and he didn't know where it was, so he gave up. He says, I give up. He says, I'm not going. So he had to ring the guy up and apologise, and the guy said, oh, well, the first time I came, I got lost as well. So he says, oh, well, I feel a bit blessed, a bit happier that he got lost as well. So he's gone off today, and last night I said, have you checked your sat-nav? Do you know where you're going? And he says, well, I know. He says, I'm not going to go that way that we went before. He says, I'm going to go down to where, just before the garden centre where we go for a cup of tea. And he says, then it's up that way. So that's what he's got. He's going down and then up a little bit. And hopefully it is now 10 to 10. He should be there playing his guitar. Playing the music he's not really keen on. So anyway, my cup of tea. Let me just get my pot of tea poured out. It's a lovely day today. Really lovely and sunny. We've had a couple of lovely days, but we've had a lot of rain before that. I think a lot of Europe's been getting a lot of rain, and it's been a bit yucky. So I've had my washing out, got myself a new washing line, got my washing out, got it out yesterday, washed and dried, and it dried in an hour. So I'm really chuffed about that, because normally I have got some what you call clothes horses, the modern type things that comes out wide, and oh, it takes forever. It takes a day or two to dry. So I'm really pleased. Having this clothesline is making a big difference. So the milk, and then that's me almost done. Get some cheese. This is my breakfast. I usually have one of those, a vache qui rit breakfast with some crackers, some gluten-free crackers. But I went to the supermarket and they didn't have any gluten-free crackers in stock. So I had to get these ones. And these little ones, they are mini cheese bakes. And they're just little things. And usually I like to spread them on my cracker, but not much on there, so I'm going to have to try and have a few of those with my crackers. But also, what was I going to say? Last night, take this tea bag up. Last night, I had a very bad sleep because we went for a coffee in the afternoon and I foolishly had a carrot cake and it was gluten in it. And of course, that made me... Gluten, it doesn't make me ill, it just keeps me awake all night. I can't sleep, I get insomnia, I can't sleep, I toss and turn. So that, combined with the fact that I have found out that I get gout, and gout is because I eat fish. I love fish and I eat a lot of fish, and I kept finding the joints, all my joints, especially my knee joint, would ache when I was in bed. And then I've since found out the reason why it aches is because I eat fish and fish gives you gout. So I've been trying to avoid fish and I've had some beautiful sleeps, no pain in my legs, no pain in my joint. I usually get pain there, and that's with holding my phone like that all the time, the pain there. It's with holding my phone and driving. When I used to drive, I always got a pain there. So I just kind of press that pain. It's gone now, it's not there at the moment, but there are times when it really is painful. But I realised we had salad last night with some fish, codfish cakes. I thought I'd try a codfish cake. Usually I get salmon or mackerel, and I thought, oh, I'll get some codfish cakes because there'll be some potato in there, so it'll not all be fish. And boy, did I suffer last night. So I was awake from 2 o'clock till 5:30, and it was terminated at 5 o'clock by a nosebleed. And I've been getting it, not regularly, but maybe it's, in the past 2 or 3 months I've had 3 nosebleeds. And I've checked it up, nothing serious about it. I don't know what, probably because I'm awake and I'm breathing in dry air in the bedroom or something. But I've been getting these nosebleeds. And been fun and games on with that. So I'm going to stop there. I'm going to go and have my breakfast. Well, here's the man with a plan, taking me out for lunch.
Plan.
He's got a plan. Yep. He's gone towards Sedgefield. So I might be zenning our lunch today.
It's a zen one.
It's a zen one. If it's open, let's hope it's open.
Zen den.
Otherwise, that might
garage.
Be
the garage
again. The garage, sitting in the car park again. We've got some great memories like that. I may have told you the one that we really enjoyed, the great memory of, was when it was Valentine's Day, not long after you and I got together, I think it was.
It was a couple of years.
And he said, I'll take you out tonight for your Valentine's meal. And I said, you'll never get anywhere because, everywhere will be booked. You can't get anywhere. And he says, I'll get you somewhere. He took me to the supermarket cafe in Tesco's in the next town, and he said to the lady, he says, I'm treating her to a Valentine's meal. I just thought it was absolutely wonderful. It's one we will always talk about, let's just say.
It was nice as well.
It was, yes. So anyway, they'll be wanting to know, how was your music session today with the boys?
It was all right. But none of them are used to playing in bands, so I had to provide some guidance, like play it faster, We were doing,
These are 70 and 80. No, they're not 80. You're the 60 and 70-year-olds. You're the oldest one, are you?
I think I am.
And they can't believe that he's the oldest.
And so we were doing one, and it started off, and I thought, Jesus Christ, this is going to be a mass funeral. It was, anyway, I speeded them up, and yeah, it went all right. It was, I think they're getting quite excited because I have played in bands, and you know, they can
They're guided by you.
well, they're not so much guided, but
You give them some good stories.
I give them some tips and point them in the right direction, really, and they're getting quite excited about it.
All right.
So to the point where they were assessing how many gigs a month we could do.
How many did you think?
I said we'd start off with one.
Seeing you lug your guitar stuff out to the car this morning and the huffing and puffing you were doing, I can't imagine you'd be wanting to do very many in a month.
No, to be honest, I'd be very happy with 1 gig a month. Yeah, maybe in the summer you could have a couple or so, but I think 1 a month's all right. And besides which, since COVID, and because music's changed,
Sorry about the shaking, everybody.
there are fewer venues now that will take amateur bands on and
True.
what have you. So yeah, so we might just have to settle for nothing.
Anyway, we aren't far away from our Zen Den. It's called a Zen Den, isn't it?
It's the Zen
And
Den.
I know why he's going. He wants his smoothie. He wants his chakra smoothie. Because they do lovely smoothies that are supposed to be good for your brain. You do the one that's for brain health. Brain power. So we'll catch you later. Hi everybody, it's Micheline from michoumakes again with another vlog and more dress makes. I have been making quite a lot of clothes. This is a continuation of all the dresses, the summer dresses I've made over the summer. Some I've worn, some I still haven't got round to wearing, some I'm liking, some I'm not liking. And basically whatever I like I shall be keeping and wearing, and whatever I don't like I will be probably selling them on or giving them to charity or doing something with them. One person said to me that some charity shops don't accept dresses that have been handmade. My charity shops do, as long as I have a label in them, and as long as it's not just one of those kind of labels where I sew great or whatever. I've got an actual maker's label in, and I put the size in, I make it look professional, and so the fact that it's got like a maker's label, they will happily put that up on sale, you know, to sell. So it does make a difference if you don't have a proper label, or if you haven't even got a label at all and they don't know what size the garment is, then that's probably when they turn around and say, I'm not going to sell it, we'll put that in the bin, in the recycling bin. So that's what I tend to do. I tend to put a dress label on all my clothes, and especially a size, and a wash label if I can, or as well I often put a wash label so that they know how to wash the garment. This is a continuation of dresses that I've made. One is I have to write this down, one is an NL6435 extension. I've made quite a lot of these and I do like them. The second one is, well, one of the other ones is the one that I've designed it from sewist.com. I've put in my measurements and then I've designed the dress, and this is what it's, and then you'll see what it turns out like. Very happy with that one, and I've added a modification to it on the collar. And then the third one was by Sew Therapy.
Welcome back to Sewing Therapy. I'm Sarah and I'm excited to share my latest pattern with you, the tie dress. Inspired by previous summer makes, I finally brought this vision to life and I'm thrilled to sew along with you. Let me give you a quick overview of the pattern. The tie dress features 4 ties, allowing for versatile styling options. Whether you prefer a loose fit or a tight one, you can tie the ties at the front, back, or even asymmetrically. There are 2 neckline variations to choose from. You can opt for a cute and elegant boot neck or switch to a structured V-neck for a sharp yet comfortable look. The tie dress offers 2 sleeve options. The short sleeves features a unique bottom opening detail, adding a touch of flair. For the elbow-length sleeves, I have incorporated an inverted pleat detail. This suitable feature enhances the elegance of your arms, creating a dramatic yet slimming effect. The tie dress comes with pockets. However, I must emphasize that they are entirely optional. Personally, I lean towards omitting pockets as the construction and versatility of the tie dress are such that pockets may disrupt the silhouette.
It's called a tea dress, TEA, and love the pattern. Really love the pattern. The fabric that I use is not. I don't think it. The fabric that I used is not suitable for the dress pattern. I think it's very nice. There's nothing wrong with it, but I just think I was using the fabric up because I had bought it, and when I bought it online. When I got it, the pattern was very big, and it wasn't. I was expecting it to be smaller, and so I used that fabric up, but it really. Let's say I think the dress pattern, I think the pattern itself, the PDF pattern is fantastic. I will be making it again, and I'll use a different fabric, probably a plain fabric, because I think this pattern fabric does not become it. Probably or maybe it's a little ditty type of flower, that would be better. But I think the whole pattern, the abstractness of this pattern that I made the dress with, not my cup of tea, but it might be for somebody else. I shall continue and let you see what I've done. So this was some, it's polyester jersey, very thin, very silky, and I just thought I've got to use it up. And so this pattern that I made was the cashmerette turner. I've made it several times before. It looks lovely once it's finished, and I'll probably get a little bit of wear out of it, but I may even sell it on. It's got pockets. I've given it pockets. And it looks lovely when I'm wearing it. I think it'd be nice in the summer, spring, summer, next year. Not what I would call an autumn dress, but I still like it. It's turned out better than I expected it to. This one was a pattern from Lacala. It was no, it wasn't Lacala, it was Sewist. Lacala's branch called Sewist, where you design your own pattern. And I designed a pattern. I wanted it so that it had gathered sleeves. It has gathered sleeves, and it has a kind of V-neck that goes rounded at the bottom. It's not a perfect V. And I made it and I thought it was quite nice, but I thought, oh, it'd be quite nice to have a frill on it. But then I thought, wouldn't it be nice if I could have a frill that comes off and goes on? So I made a frill, and the frill is detachable. And what I have is a little hook and eye here, and then I have 3 popper buttons. Again, I'm using my popper buttons, 3 popper buttons, black ones, one there, one there, one there, and one here on the shoulder. You can't really tell them because of the busyness of this pattern. If I do that, you might just see the 3 popper buttons. One there, and one there. It's not straight. If I press that, do that, you might just see the 3 popper buttons. But because the pattern is very busy, it's not too bad. The fabric is a jersey cotton. It's like a peach skin jersey, and it's lilac and white and a very pale yellow. Looks lovely on. It has a low waist with a gather, and of course with the gathered sleeves, quite long, and I do like it. I haven't worn it yet, but it's a lovely, it looks lovely on. This one is a go-to pattern that I've made a lot of dresses from. It's actually a top that I actually extended the skirt, and I've told you about it so many times. Can't remember what the name of the pattern is, but I'll put it up here so you can see. Love this. It's this seam is just below the bust, so it's kind of flattering. I have got a big bust and it's kind of flattering, but the colour is absolutely gorgeous. It looks really nice. If I had a smaller bust, it would look even better, let's say. But I have a biggish bust, but I think I can still get away with wearing it. This is an interesting dress that I made. It's a Japanese lady who designs it, and again, I'm not very good at remembering it, so I shall put it up here, what she's called and what the name of the dress is. But it's basically a reversible dress. Now, personally, I use this fabric. This is the toile, and I thought I'll use this fabric because it's a bit too big and gaudy. When I bought it, I think it was one of those you buy online, and then when you get it, you think, oh golly, that's not what I expected it to be. And so I used the fabric. I can't say I'm enamoured by this fabric because of the size, but I loved the idea. Now what it is reversible, because on one side you have the round neck, and on the other side you have a V-neck, and you can wear it either way. And you have 2 ties. I think I've been wearing it more with the V-neck at the front. Well, I haven't worn it yet, but when I prefer it with the V-neck at the front. You have 2 ties, 4 ties rather, a tie on the front, a tie on the back on each side. So you can tie the front to the back there to give it a bit of gather at the side, or you can tie that front across there to give it gather at the front and do the same at the back. Or she showed you one where you could bring this tie across and you can actually end up with a pleat on the front like that. It looked lovely, and I can see the potential of it. I thought it was, the idea is really good, but I think the fabric doesn't do the pattern any justice. I think it needs to be a plain fabric, and to be fair, I am starting to get into more plain fabrics than I am into patterns at the moment. I'm just trying to get rid of this pattern fabric, trying to get rid of my, trying to get rid of a lot of my scrap fabric so that I can get on with what I really want to use. And yeah, it's not a bad dress. I have filmed myself wearing it, and you'll be able to see what it looks like.